Climate change really scares me. It's a really big fear, so it's just really important to me that we change that.
So increased CO2 levels in our atmosphere are creating what's called the greenhouse gas effect, where gases that are released are bouncing back off of our atmosphere and trapping heat. It creates this whole cascade of problems, and it affects ecosystems and plant and animal life.
It'll impact the poorest areas first, so the people who have the power and the money to be able to stop it aren't even the ones that are going to be impacted by it the most.
Unless we take bold and drastic action, what they are telling us is that the world we will leave for our kids and grandchildren will be in much worse shape than the world we live in today. And that is something we must not allow to happen.
I live in Vermont, and so I feel like winters are getting shorter, and I can see the effects of climate change.
The most vulnerable people to it are the people that aren't going to have options to go against the impacts of climate change, and it's not even their fault.
When you have 99% of scientists agreeing that climate change is real, that it is man-made, that it is already causing devastating harm in our country and around the world, the scientific debate is over. The real issue that we have to address is politics and the power of the fossil fuel industry.
The process of making plastic, you frack materials from the ground, and that releases harmful greenhouse gases, and that burns up our atmosphere. When plastic is polluting our ecosystem, it gets into the food systems. So in humans, we've found that there's a lot of plastic, microplastics inside of us, and that just comes into our bodies from eating fish or other meats.
These big companies and corporations, they have the option to become more sustainable and make less waste, but out of the interest of making more money and just keep their businesses the way that they neglect it and they take shortcuts.
We have to look for a way to stop climate change as a community.
We should enter back into the Paris Climate Agreement because it's a worldwide thing.
What getting back into the Climate Paris Agreement will do in the US or to the world in general is telling us that climate change is no longer a problem we can push aside.
For the sake of future generations and the future of this planet, we as a nation and we as a world have got to come together to develop bold solutions to the crisis of climate change.
What we can do to switch over to more sustainable practices is one being solar panels as energy we can use.
There's wind energy, hydroelectric energy, and geothermal energy. We have the ability to make sure that transitions go from fossil fuel workers to making sustainable energy jobs.
From an economic point of view, it's so much easier to say that, if we work on climate change, that's going to cost us more money. But in the long run, if we're all underwater, I don't know what money it's going to do for us.